Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
This is Bloomberg Businessweek with Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec on Bloomberg Radio.
It is Bloomberg Businessweek, and I want to know, Carol Massar.
Yes.
What you were doing when you were in ninth grade.
First year of high school.
Yeah.
I don't know, just trying to...
Gymnastics?
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Cheerleading.
Okay.
Trying to get A's. Getting A's.
Were you anywhere close to creating an AI-based handheld pesticide detector?
That would be a no.
Okay. That's what Sirish Subash has been up to. He's in ninth grade, and that creation helped crown him the winner of the 2024 3M Young Scientist Challenge. Also includes a nice $25,000 cash prize,
Not
a trip
too
here to
shabby.
New York,
Yep.
to ring the bell at the New York Stock Exchange, and
Yes.
gets to hang out with us, which I think is just the biggest prize that's around.
Sirish Subash is the winner of the 2024 3M Young Scientist Challenge, and Aditya Banerji is Senior Research Energy of the Corporate Research Process Lab over at 3M. They both join us in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio. Very cool to have you both here. Congratulations, Sirish. First, I want to ask you, Aditya, tell us about this challenge, how long you've been doing it, how it came about, and why you're doing it.
So the 3M Young Scientist Challenge has been around for 17 years. This is my first year doing this mentorship. So I'm just awfully lucky to be paired with Sirish, and it has been an awesome experience. Our goal as part of the 3M Young Scientist Challenge is to nurture and just work with such bright young minds and just help them bring their imagination, their creations to life. So I mean, we live by science applied to life. So they have all the science innovations in their mind. We have some experience in getting the science to people's hands.
Right.
So we hope that we can bridge the gap for them to take his concepts to hands of consumers and help them in any way possible to make that journey smooth.
Well, Sirish, tell us about what you have sitting in front of you, because it looks like an iPhone attached to some sort of gizmo here. What's going on?
So my device, my project, it's called Pestiscan. And so what it is at home, people can scan for pesticide residues on their produce items. That's the real core concept here. Because there's a lot of contaminants like pesticide residues that can stick around on produce after washing, where they've been linked to health issues like certain cancers and Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, neurodegenerative diseases along those lines.
You can pick that up,
Yeah,
and you can.
hold
There's
it.
a camera right there in front of you. For those watching on YouTube, Elizabeth's going to get a shot of this thing. It's pretty cool. So there's an app that goes with it. There's also some hardware there. It uses a type of technology. I practice so many times saying this type of technology.
Say it.
Can you say it for me, please?
Yeah, it's spectrophotometry.
Spectrophotometry?
Yeah.
And what does that do?
So the idea is different materials reflect and absorb different wavelengths of light. So Pestiscan can look for those wavelengths that are reflected and absorbed by pesticide residues.
So we are very lucky that we have a lot of food here at Bloomberg and a lot of fresh fruit, and we all tap into it. I've just had a banana and often tap an apple or some other things. We had some grapefruit this morning. You picked up an apple in our food court up in the Link on the 6th floor. And so show us how it works and what you do and then what you found out.
Yeah, so for using the actual device, you just connect the app to the device. You just turn both on. You point the device at the produce item, and then you tap scan. And in a couple seconds, the results are back. And this apple had no pesticide residues on it at all.
Score.
Which
that
is
makes me
amazing,
so
because
happy.
I don't know if these are organic apples.
I don't know that they are either.
But that's good to know. There is a sign upstairs that says, please wash fruit before eating it. But
Which
that
we
might
always
be because
do.
sometimes, people go and check the peaches to make sure they're soft.
I check out a few things. It's really fascinating. So how did you kind of come up with the idea? How'd you pull it together? And how did you use your mentor to help you?
So the whole concept really started when I was having a conversation with my mom. So she was insisting that I wash my produce before consuming it.
Right.
And yeah.
Good mom.
Okay.
Good mom.
You gotta wash your produce.
So go ahead.
And my question was, why and how effective is it? So looking into that, I saw that there were a bunch of contaminants like pesticide residues that can be on produce, but washing isn't necessarily completely effective. The residues do stay on afterward. So the idea is if we could detect them, we could make sure that we weren't consuming them. And that's really where the idea for PestiScan came from. So after I started building the device and I joined the 3M Young Scientist Challenge, my mentor Aditya has been really helpful with this, especially when I've gotten stuck. One big time was when I was designing my machine learning models, and these are what take the actual data from the sensor and then turn that into results, what you'd see on the screen, whether the device has pesticide residues, whether the printer says pesticide residues or not. And he's helped me when I get stuck. He's helped me get unstuck.
I want to ask you, so what's the, balance of here's how you do it and solving the problem and helping him to say, you've got this problem, let me steer you so that you figure it out yourself?
You got that exactly right. Like I said, our goal is to help nurture them. So I would pose it as like have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And he, being a very meticulous and very energetic person, he would do his homework and he would make sure he follows up on that. And next week when we chat, he would inevitably come up with a solution.
So Sirish is in Georgia, Snellville, Georgia. You're in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Were you guys meeting like on Zoom once a week? How did this work?
Yep.
Yeah,
we would meet after his school's done once a week and have a conversation about what he has been up to last week, anything he wanted to discuss with me, any next steps and stuff like that.
Can you talk a little bit, Suresh, about how you got introduced to this program? Because it's my understanding that you've known about the Young Scientist Challenge from 3M since you were in second grade?
Yes, I learned about the 3rd Young Scientist Challenge when Gitanjali Rao got nominated as Times Kid of the Year. And when I learned about it and what the challenge really stood for, what it was doing, I thought that this would be a great place for me to submit my inventions. That was really because I've always wanted to leave an impact on the world.
Nice.
In a good way, to leave society a better place. And I thought the 3M Young Scientist Challenge would be a great place for me to start with that. So I skipped 5th grade, so I wasn't able to put it in then. 6th grade, our family was in India and we weren't able to get things figured out. 7th grade, I did apply, but it didn't quite work out. And in this year, I was able to get it in and everything worked out. Yeah.
Did I hear you say inventions, plural?
Yeah, so I've worked on a couple of things before.
Okay.
PestiScan may be the one single project that I've put my most time into. So I've built a couple things before. I made one robot to deliver books that was probably the runner-up to this and how much time I put into it. I spent 4 or 5 months on that. I've spent about a year on this latest version.
So what's the commercialization of this?
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
what I was
think
gonna ask.
I could see, I would love to have one in my home, and I'm sure you would.
Or even just an app that could do this using technology that exists inside a phone already, right? Like,
Right.
so you're at the grocery store, you're like, oh, this is good to go.
Exactly, right? Like we do barcodes of things
Yeah.
to find out pricing or whatever, or information. So, Aditya, how do you guys think about, like, just 3M, who's known for like all their different products, and it's not just Post-its, it's a lot of different things. So I'm just curious, do you see something like this and say, okay, there's commercial applications?
Oh, for sure. I mean, part of our conversations was how do you simplify the prototype? That was one of the driving questions that he seek to answer during the summer. He started off with making the module simpler, something that you can just clip onto your phone,
Right.
so that it can be used for a consumer. He did a lot of work in driving down the unit cost of each of the modules, and he already has plans to drive it down even lower. So he is already on it.
Well, what do you guys do next? I mean, these guys know I'm like super obsessed with Shark Tank and when people pitch their ideas. But what do you do to help him? Maybe is it on his own, or do you guys work with him to kind of get it to the next step?
So he would be driving a lot on his own, but we are always there to support him whenever there's anything that we can help out. Me personally, 3M as a company, we would definitely be more than happy to help him out. And also, the 3M Young Scientist Challenge alumni, they have a grant program that has
nice.
been set up. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of alumni who leverage that to fund their programs in the future as well. So that is something that's all set up that can be used.
So, What do you want to do?
Like, are venture capitalists knocking on your door?
You've got a few more years. I imagine you want to continue your education. What's the plan here?
So the big next steps are I'm trying to shrink this quite a bit to where it would be far more portable and easier for a consumer to carry around. And then from there, also just dropping the cost to where it could easily go into people's homes. Those are my key plans for this device in particular.
How much, what's the cost associated with this prototype? Like, how much would this device cost as is now?
So as of now, for this setup, if I were to make 100 of them, that would be $75.
That's not bad.
But I have a plan laid out to where there's a solution. I can put this onto a printed circuit board, which would make this all one singular piece. And that would bring the price down to roughly $35. But I'm looking forward to, in the future, reach a price tag of maybe $20.
Like,
Very cool.
Right? Like, I don't, I just think about, do you have it in the supermarket where people can, I don't know, or does everybody have their own and check it out? Really, really cool. Aditya, one thing I want to ask you, we often talk with folks about the importance of STEM education, and companies, whether they're out in Silicon Valley or thinking about the next generation of workers that they need. Is this part of why 3M is looking to do this?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, we seek to educate or reach out to folks about science and how it's integral part of our life. We have a great science advocacy team within 3M as well, and that's also one of the reasons why during this program we get to meet young brilliant minds like him, and we try our best to, like I say, nurture and mold them and inspire them to do something. Like he said, like science is part of it, merging with the society. That's another huge thing that we see. So what he's doing,
pretty
making
cool stuff.
Society bigger, society better, that's what we hope for.
The bigger impact. Sirish, congratulations. Sirish, Subash, Aditya Banerji of 3M. Guys, thank you so much. This is Bloomberg.